Hello everybody and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Today we have a wonderful aircraft here to review. This is the Piper Arrow 3 by Just Flight. This is the retractable landing gear version with a variable speed propeller. This is going to be a fun aircraft to fly. It is very similar to the aircraft of which I learned and got my private pilot with. I learned in a Piper Cherokee Warrior 2, as well as a Piper Archer, Archer 3, which is a non-turbo. Basically just like this aircraft, but non-turbo, which means non-variable speed propeller, and the engine's not high performance. It also did not have retractable landing gear, so that is one factor that I am not familiar with in actual real-life pilotage. Otherwise, I am very familiar with this kind of aircraft. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump inside the cockpit. And, well, before we do that, let's check out the actual aircraft from the outside. So one of the things I noticed right off the bat was just how realistic this thing looks. I mean, obviously some of the textures you can tell look a little to be desired. They're not 3D here. Well, they are in a way. You can, I'm sorry, just close the door there. You can kind of see where some of the texture has perhaps been a little bit, how would you say it, not quite as good as I would like, but it's still a beautiful aircraft, especially for a sim like this, where you're going to be mainly inside the aircraft. But it does have some to be desired, and to be frank with you all, of course, I am not running on ultra quality right now. I am on, I believe it's just high end or maybe medium. That's for my own frame's sake. So that is something to note. It could be a little bit better on ultimate. I am not sure. But the PBR looks great. The reflections and all that, that looks really, really good. I like the reflections because in real life you do get those reflections. So that is pretty cool. You do have chocks and tie downs, of course, in this aircraft as well. And yeah, so we're going to get inside here and give it a whirl and see how it takes. All right, inside the cockpit, there's a few things that I noticed right off the bat, which were pretty cool. Okay, first thing I noticed was this metal plate at the bottom. Now, you may be asking yourself, why is there a metal plate at the bottom? In a lot of the older aircraft, you'll see where they actually add in, after the fact, these metal plates below the pedals. Because what happens is with this carpet is gets really worn and basically gets worn through, and you see the metal anyway. So instead, they just add this metal plate underneath it to protect this carpet and just prevent you from wearing it down to nothing. So that's cool to see that. I do like the fact that it is worn. One thing I do wish that they would allow you to do is to turn on or off the wear and tear. That way you could be like, oh, well, I want to actually fly a new aircraft, and you could turn it off. But, you know, I am totally fine with the used look of it. Again, I flew all used aircraft, very used aircraft. So this is par for the course. I do like the attention to detail with the left side of the yoke here. More worn than the right, because in real life, you actually fly holding just your left hand, and then your right hand is on the throttle, and so forth, manipulating controls, changing radio frequencies, whatever it may be. So that is nice to see that at least they, at least they did that type of attention detail. I will, of course, hide the yoke for now because I am flying with my honeycomb yoke here, as well as my Bravo throttle quadrant. We'll be using both of those in this video, so I don't need that sitting right in front of me, as I have one actually in front of me in real life. We do have our pressure gauge, which is manifold pressure gauge, which is very important for a variable speed propeller. So aircraft, so that's very important. There is, of course, an iPad here. This is kind of like your settings iPad. There's a couple other things you can do with it, but in general, this is basically the way for you to interact with the aircraft, which is fine. I'm fine with keeping it here. I have no issue with it. In real world, what I actually do is I have a mount that goes right here on the yoke where my iPad sits, but that's fine if we keep it over there. No big deal. All right, so with that being said, we are going to give this thing a whirl here, and I wish I had my actual checklist from my PA-28s. I don't have that on me. I do have a version of it that may be slightly different, and we'll use that as we go through this aircraft. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started here, get the engine started, and get moving. We're going to do a short flight from Blairsville, Georgia to Asheville. Looks like Asheville, I believe it's going to be, is it North Carolina? Yep. Asheville, North Carolina. So, over the Blue Ridge Mountains, cool place. So anyway, so we're going to get going here. We are going to go ahead and set our parking brake, which is actually already set. So we're good to go. Let's default and propeller full forward. See that with the blue handle right there? That's propeller. Fuel selector. We're going to put on a left tank to start with. Anti-collision lights. These are these right here. We're going to turn that on. Throttle half-inch open. So basically what we're going to do, if you look here on your throttle quadrant, you'll see your throttle lever. I'm going to take the top of this lever and put it right here at the top of the E. And that is about half an inch open. All right. And master switch on. So go and turn on our master switches. For these guys right here. Cool deal. Master switches are on. Electronic fuel pump. That's this guy right here. Mixture prime. So we're going to go full here. Give it a couple seconds. Then back off. And all we're doing there is priming it. So that it basically gets fuel into the system here. Starter engaged. So we're going to go our magnetos here both. And then start. At the same time we hit start, we're going to enrich in our mixture here. Ready? And there we are. And we're going to bring our throttle down to about 1,000 RPMs here. And there we go. We're going to check our oil pressure now. To check your oil pressure, look, go over here. And what are we in? We're in the green, so that's good to go. Perfect. All right. Back to our... And go ahead and kill our fuel pump. And we can lean our mixture just a little bit. That way we don't foul our spark plugs here. Okay. So we can go ahead and remove our chocks and our tie-down brakes, our tie-downs, which are going to be over here. Chocks and tie-downs. Perfect. Okay. We're going to go ahead and turn on our avionics now. Flip those switches. Perfect. We're going to be squawking 1200 since we're going to be VFR today. Now to reporting mode set. Alright, we're going to go ahead and actually enter in our destination. Oops, that was not what I meant to do. Off is fine. Okay. We're going to enter in our destination. We're just going to do a direct to. And let's go ahead and do that here. And we're looking for Kilo. Alpha. And Victor. And lastly, Lima. There it is right there. Enter. Activate that. And let's go ahead and move to our map here. Perfect. Okay. So we are basically ready here. We are going to, of course, taxi to the runway here. We have two options. We have runway 08 and or runway 26. Yeah, 26. Runway 08, runway 26. So I think we'll take runway 08. Yeah, I think that's what we'll take here. So let's go ahead 1 second, let me get this set up here. Yep, alright. So I'm going to apply full toe brakes here and release my parking brake so I don't fly out here. What? Interesting, it's not actually showing these move. That's interesting. Even though it is. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to close this now. What I didn't do is I didn't yell clear prop. That's what I meant to do, but I didn't. Oh well. It's okay. We'll be fine. It's a simulator. Oh, you know what? I wonder if... 1 second. I bet you these toe brakes are set for the... for the... No, they're set for the right, and... Oh, you know what? I think it's supposed to be set to toe brakes here. There's brake. Not brake. Brake. Nope, that's correct. Okay. Interesting. All right, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to get turned around. Oh gosh, there's a fuel truck there. Of course there is. We're going to ignore it for now. All right, we're going to get our beaker on, landing lights on, pit heat not required. I'm going to ignore this guy too. And we're going to taxi to runway 08. So, Blairsville traffic, November 174 Echo Alpha, taxiing to runway 08 via Alpha Blairsville traffic. I think I'm going to have to do a back taxi here, so we'll make that call as well. Alright, since I think we have a run-up area down there, so we'll go ahead and back taxi here. Blairsville traffic, number 174 Echo Alpha, back taxi, runway 08, Blairsville. So we'll go ahead and back taxi. I like the sounds. They sound pretty darn good. We'll see when we get up in the air and the roar of the engine. But so far, I'm liking the sounds. The click of these guys right here, that's exactly what they sound like in the real aircraft. Exactly, so I like that. So I am, like I've been mentioning, I am a private pilot. I do not have my high performance endorsement. I am currently working on it, so I am somewhat familiar with high performance aircraft, but not super, super informed on it. So if I do jack something up with that, don't judge me yet. I'm still a student on that. I'm also not complex endorsed either, so I don't know about landing gear, so to speak. But we'll give it a go. I think I'll be all right. And Blairsville traffic, number 174 Echo Alpha is clear, runway 8, Blairsville. And we'll hold short of this guy right here, and we'll do our run-up checks. All right. Go and set our parking brake. Parking brake is set. Propeller full increase, it is set. Throttle 2,000 RPMs. Watching the manifold pressure, it is rising. That's good. Expect that. All right, mixture lean for best power. We are already in the best power configuration here. Yep. All right. Magnetos. We're going to test those real fast. It's about 100 drop. That's good. Back to both. Drop within tolerances. Back to both. Vacuum. Check our vacuum gauge here. Looking for about 4.8 to 5.1. We're sitting right here about 4.8, so that's good to go. Oil temperature check is in the green. That's good. Air conditioner, we don't have one, so yeah, we don't worry about that. Non-seated press to test. That is good to go. Propeller exercise 3 times. So what we're going to do basically is we're going to bring it back and back forward. And then one more time. And we're just making sure that that is acting properly. Our manifold pressure adjusts as we move that because it is powered by oil pressure, and we're seeing that drop in RPMs. That's what we want to see. All right. Engine is warm and ready to go. Electric fuel pump is off right now. Fuel pressure check. It's good to go. They didn't tell me to turn it on. Normally you do. But yeah, there's no change to fuel pressure. It's good to go. And throttle retarded. So we're going to bring it back down. And make sure our engine doesn't die out on us. Cool deal. All right, we're good. Left good. Electric fuel pump is going to be on. Lights as needed. All those are on. Indicators are good. Mixture set for altitude. Full rich for now. Props set full. Belts harnesses are good. Empty seats. Don't worry about it. Flaps set. We're going to be 0 today. Controls free and correct. Let's go ahead and check that real fast. Get my iPad out of the way here. Full left. And up and down. And full right. Up and down. Correct. And can we see the stabilator? No, we cannot. Back and down. Cool deal. All right, so that's good to go. Doors are set, closed, air conditioner not needed, and we'll go ahead and release our parking brake here. We are... Can I actually set this? Reset. Oh, mode. Here we go. Yep, so we're going to go and start this. This is our fuel calculator. This should be fun. All right, so we're looking for about rotating at about 78, and we're going to climb out at 90 knots. That's what we're looking for. So, Blairsville traffic number 174 Echo Alpha, departing runway 8 to the northeast, Blairsville. All right, so we'll go and release the parking brake. Get rid of this yoke for now. The throttle will get us on the runway. This is my first flight with this, guys. I am doing this basically live, but I'm recording it. Alright, increase. See, manifold pressure is rising. Engine is in the green. Ooh, gosh, it's a little fishy on the ground here. And there it is, rise, come on. There we go. And we're off the ground. That's a little weird. Gears coming up. Pull them back. Again, looking for about 90 on our VY here. There it is right there. Alright, going to start making our turn here. Electrical fuel pump can come off. And we'll reduce our throttle just a little bit to get off the red line. Verify all gear is up. And we're flying, guys. Awesome, 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 awesome sauce. Look for about 104 on our en route climb here. And we're shooting for, I believe it's going to be 5,500. Get a little bit of trim in. If that actually is adjusting the trim here. It is. Cool. Cool deal. That's about 104. And we're climbing, guys. That simple. Let's go ahead and hop outside here and take a look at it. Oh my gosh, the baggage door's open. This is why you do a final walk around, which I did not do. There we go. Gotta love it. I told you guys I'm doing this live, basically. And like I said, I did not do a walk around because it's a simulator. You know, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do a walk around. Do a virtual walk around. Make sure that you don't have any doors open. Golly. All right, getting a little off course here. All right. Nav 1 and Nav 2. I should be able to change this to GPS here. Yep. And, ooh, didn't change over. Am I missing something? Normally that would change it. Oh, it changed it here. Okay. Gotcha. I'm not used to it being right there. Got it. All right, we're looking for, ooh, got a little bit of a swift changing there. So we're just gonna bring the propeller back just a little bit. Basically, about every 1,000 feet or so, you adjust your prop, keep yourself off red line, and then keeping your manifold pressure within tolerances. Alright, let's see what we got here. It wants me on a bearing of 690. That's close enough. Alright. And again, look for about 5,500, if I remember correctly, on my altitude here. That'll clear all. Ooh, that's not going to be enough, actually. That's not going to be. Well, actually, that'll be fine. We'll just kind of swing a little bit south. We'll swing a little bit south. Well, let's see. This is going to be Chattooga Lake right here, off our left side. I'm liking how this aircraft feels. It definitely got a little bit of a wind bump there. Definitely feels pretty. Well, it feels a lot more realistic than the default aircraft. I'll just say that. And getting some air drafts off these mountains, updrafts and downdrafts and such. Alright, we're approaching our cruising altitude of 5,500. We're going to adjust our pitch just a little bit. Pitching down. Adjusting this. Alrighty. And basically what we're going to do now is we're actually going to adjust our prop here. About right there. It looks about right. Then again, I'm doing my high performance stuff in a Cessna, so it's probably going to be a little bit different. I could reference, you know, the actual engine stuff, but alright. We're gonna throttle back here. I'm gonna try to trim out this aircraft, and as we increase airspeed, it's wanting to climb, which is natural. I feel like I'm getting bounced around pretty good right now. Alright everybody, we're about 13 miles from Asheville. It's right over here across this mountain range right here. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to come over, we're going to cross over the field, make a teardrop into the left downwind for a runway. I believe it's going to be runway 17, I believe is what it is. Yeah, so it's going to be teardrop over, come around, and land. Runway 17 in Asheville. So there's a couple things we'll need to do before we get there. We'll need to start our ascent actually pretty soon here. This is a controlled airport, however, I'm just not going to worry about that right now, since we are, of course, in a simulator and so forth. But the traffic pattern altitude is going to be 3,200 feet. And of course, the crossover midfield will need to be 1,000 above the traffic pattern altitude. So that'll be what, 4,200. So we have about 1,300 feet to lose. 500, 600 feet per minute. That's about 2.5 minutes. So about 2.5 minutes out, we'll start descending. We'll go through that checklist here momentarily. Right. Kind of holding ourselves as we are now. And if we move this, we'll be able to see Asheville right here. So it's going to be right off our nose, off to the left a little bit. I believe that's going to be it right there in front of us. So we're going to head right to it, and we're going to cross over midfield at about 4,200 feet. That's kind of what we're going for. So let's get close enough. Let's see, about probably give it another minute or so. We'll start a descent. Again, not a lot of altitude to lose since we did go up. I can turn that off. We did go up in altitude, actually, from our departure airport. We're going to do most of this approach and landing all from memory. Again, slightly different speeds and so forth on this versus the 181 or 1651, which I actually flew in real life here. But we're looking for about 90 or so knots in the pattern with approach speeds. Looks like about 75 knots on the approach and a landing speed. Actually, is 75. Yeah, so actually, final approach, we'll look for about 79, 80, and then 40 round out. We'll do our 75, and then we'll bring it on home. So, all right, so what we're going to do is still flying this way. We're going to go start descending. Now, in this aircraft, before you start descending, a couple things you'll want to do. Just like you went up, you go down. You're going to adjust your prop as well as your mixture. We're going to enrich our mixture now, and we're going to bring our throttle back just a little bit. So we're looking for about 500 feet per minute descent here, and 4,200 feet. There's about 500 feet per minute right there. Bring our throttle back even more here, so we can start losing a little bit of that speed. Again, we are in a high-performance aircraft, so do have to think about that. And we'll cross over midfield, do a chair drop, left downwind, or runway 17. So far, I am liking this aircraft. I'm happy that I can finally kind of fly what I'm used to in the simulator. That is exciting for me. I'm happy that Just Flight has created this aircraft. I hope that they will go back and they'll make a non-variable propeller version, like a regular piston aspirated engine, even though this is aspirated as well, and piston, but it's variable speed. A fixed pitch propeller version, like a Warrior 2 or Cherokee 140 or something like that. That would be grand if you guys could make that. Just Flight, just a little bit of a request. It wouldn't be that big of a difference. Maybe a little bit different nose, not quite as long. Different engine mechanics. So I guess it is kind of different, isn't it? But you got a lot of the stuff already done, so, you know, so forth. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start making our gentle right-hand turn. So it can be perpendicular to the runway. Cross over the midfield. About right there looks good. I'll pop outside here in a second. We see the runway's coming up. We are perpendicular to the runway. And again, look, 4,200 feet over the midfield. And look at that, we're so close. That is pretty darn close. I'm happy about that. Look at that. It's like I've flown these aircraft or something. Alright, there is the airfield. So we're crossed over midfield right now, 4,200 feet. And we can start descending now to our pattern altitude of 3,200 feet. We'll keep our 500 feet per minute rolling. And what we're going to look here for is our distance. We're looking for about 1.5 nautical miles or so to start making our right turn. Start bleeding a little bit more of that airspeed out here. 1.5, and we'll start making our turn. A little bit of rudder in there. Nice coordinated 20-degree turn. Still descending 500 feet per minute. Again, looking for 3,200 feet for our traffic pattern altitude. And there is the runway, so we are coming out just grand here as I wanted to. So now we're going to be 45 downwind, 45 degrees for the downwind, runway 17. Perfecto. Awesome, 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 awesome sauce. All right, so now prop. It's going to go full. Fuel pump on. And we're going to level off here at 3,200. There we go. And we'll start turning now for a downwind. I want to bring out some of the power here. Again, slowing down. I want to get a little bit slower than where I am right now. Perfect, perfect. Hold it about there. A little bit of trim in there. All right. Losing some of that airspeed. There's 100 knots. And we're perpendicular. We'll go and start descending again. And we'll bring 1 knots of flaps in. Looking for about 90 knots here. A little bit of trim in again. Looking off our left shoulder. Not quite there yet. About now's a good time. Get that second notch of flaps in, and the gear's coming down. Okay, looking for about 80 knots here on our base. Watching those hills here. Start making our turn. Getting some frame loss. Overshot it a little bit, that's okay. Make the correction. Not quite used to the speed here. Get those final flaps in. Bring out some power and slow her down. About 75, that's what we're looking for. For a final approach speed. A little low, but not too bad. If we can get our nose down a little bit. Here we go. Let's see how we do on this, guys. First time landing the Aero 3. Rounding out. There's 75. You've made the field. Bringing out the power. And hold her off, hold her off, hold her off. And we're down. There we go. And a little bit of braking there now that I've reduced back pressure on the yoke. And we'll exit this taxiway here. Looks like it's actually not a taxiway. Looks like it should be, but it's not. So we'll continue on to the next taxiway here. Oh, 2020 and your little glitches. Anyway, I love this aircraft. It's beautiful, guys. It really is. Very happy with it. Happy that Just Flight made a PA-28, something that I learned to fly in. Of course, I'm not used to complex or the RPM, the prop yet. We'll get there in my training. Currently working on the high performance, but not quite endorsed yet. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope this has kind of maybe given you some guidance on whether or not you want to get this aircraft. Maybe something you look forward to, or wait on, or something, whatever it may be. I sure am going to enjoy this aircraft. That is for sure. So anyway, don't forget, guys, hit the subscribe button down below, and the like button, of course. And comment below, are you going to be buying the PA-28R by Just Flight? And if so, why? Are you a real pilot? Have you flown it before? Have you flown in one before? Well, let me know in the comments down below. Commenting helps with the YouTube algorithm, so anything like that can help. Don't forget, you can also support me over at patreon.com/HumanFlyClub, or hit that join button down below, as little as $4 a month, guys. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time up in the sky.